Wag1 my bros and hoes. Wish.com Evian is back again. My physical counterpart was supposed to be here today. However, he fed his cat, called Michelangelo, sewage to see if it would become a ninja turtle. After hearing of this, the RSPCA immediately took him away. No, not the cat. They took Wheel away. Anyway, no one cares. Let's talk about cars. In Monaco there were many surprises. A Mercedes on pole? That's not possible. A Mercedes engine not blowing. I'm starting to believe this isn't real life. In the end, Max Verstappen took the win, closing in on Charles Leclerc in the Drivers' Championship. McLaren also had something to talk about other than contract disputes, as Lando Norris secured 4th place, after some ketamine was infused in. They made big upgrades. It was Redemption Day for Ribena Racing, as Karl Puranik scored yet more points in the team's inaugural season. However, there are question marks about Karl Puranik's racecraft flying round the paddock, calling him slow, and saying he's a right car. Well then, that was extreme. Just like Wheel when he goes off to get milk. I will leave you all now, and hand you over to Men's Health's Hottest Male 2023, and my god, he's a sexy beast. Enjoy.
Hello there, and welcome to part 8 of my team. We're going wide into turn 1. This sums up the episode quite well, spoiler alert. We're going up to turn 3 now. Braking hard. Nice and hard. I'm going to stop speaking like that. The reason I'm speaking like that, my throat is dead. I've got a throat infection, and in my infinite wisdom I thought, what's the best thing I can do with a throat infection? Record a My Team episode. So that's great. What ain't so great blood is our driving, but as we go through turn 3, it's not a horrendous showing, but as we come onto the end of the lap, we are 6/10 down on our teammate. 6/10. I don't know what marijuana he was smoking on this particular lap, but anyway, full throttle through here. Clip the curb there. Just put it as close to the wall as you bloody dare, basically. Get your massive testicles out. Don't do that, please. You'll get arrested. But basically, balls to the wall at all times as we open the DRS. I've gone for such a low downforce setup, so hopefully it won't be too bad here as we... Are you f***ing serious? I can't let that slide. He's rocking my world just like he rocked Alpines a few weeks ago. So we're going to rectify that situation immediately. Across the line to begin our last lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix qualifying session into turn 1. Being a bit more conservative, and we instantly gain a load of time, half a tenth already, just through one corner. Again, getting it on the brakes nice and carefully. We're 2 tenths up in 2 corners. That sums up, well, how crap our driving was, to be honest. But anyway, down the straight we go. DRS is wide open, gobbling up oxygen and nitrogen as we brake hard. The rear wing closes and we hit that apex as well. 3 tenths up on our lap currently. We're down to P21. We are down to P21. I actually might fall off a cliff. Enough of that. I am the optimism overlord with nearly 4 tenths in the pussycat already as we head through the left and the right. We're now half a second up. My voice is breaking at not even that high of a pitch, but we're almost 6 tenths up going into the castle section through a piece of history here in Azerbaijan, in Baku, the capital city, cutting that curb nicely, almost clipping the wall. We're 8 tenths up. What on earth is going on? We lose a bit of time in the left-hander though, scrubbing off the speed a bit too much. Mr. Clean is impressed, but I'm certainly not, as we head down towards, literally down the hill towards this left-hander. A lot of drivers have crossed it up before. We are not one of those. We regain the time that we lost in the left-hander, and now here's another left. There it is, turning the wheel left to go left, in case you couldn't tell. And now we head down to the chicane. That final full throttle, balls to the wall moment. Hit that curb, nearly clipped that one. We do lose a bit of speed because of the understeer that we have. We have such a low downforce setup, like I was saying, but that's not going to stop us from getting a great result. DRS wide open, gobbling up our time. What can we do as we cross the line? Let's hope it's a good one. Probably not, because we're not great. Oh! Well, that's a welcome surprise, I say. I must say I'm feeling like quite a distinguished gentleman, my fellows, because we are P13, and I'm not superstitious, so that's an excellent result. Ahead of Sebastian Vettel, we do beat out both the Aston Martins, which is exactly where we want to be, and beating out 9 other drivers, including our teammate. So that's perfect. That is about as good as I could have expected from this qualifying. Carlos Sainz continues on his fantastic form, by the way. 4 tenths quicker than Leclerc, who looked imperious in the first stanza of this season. That win in Spain has given Sainz a new lease of life. Mercedes have a new lease of life as well, 3 and 4. Red Bull are 7th and 11th with Perez, the Mexican Minister of Driving really slowly. While it is pretty good stuff on our end, we also have some bad news, because the Alpines and the Alfa Romeo of Bottas once again have outqualified us. And actually worse news, well, McLaren are untouchable at the moment. I don't know what drugs they have been taking back at the factory. Someone needs to check their bank statement quickly. But as soon as they're cancelled, we'll be ahead of them again, which is great news. But Alpine and Alfa Romeo still have the upper hand on us, which is not...
Oscar, I know Australia's upside down for you, and you have a real trouble adjusting to other time zones because of vertigo, but my God, no, upside down is the least of your problems, mate. You've got a screw loose somewhere, because what the fuck?
Anyway, apart from the fact he's qualified behind a Williams, which, you know, I'm really not upset about at all. You know, I could just punch him square in the middle of his head and turn his brain inside out. Apart from that, the good news is our race pace is normally a lot better than our qualifying pace. So, we should be able to gain on our P13 starting position. But this is bearing in mind that this was before the straight line speed update came out. So, in fact, I could be in for a world of pain. But let's find out. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
We are so fucked.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Bottas, Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez, Mick Schumacher, Bombshell, Sebastian Vettel and Tsunoda, Joe, Albon, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Cheers, guys! Almost at the end of the formation lap then. Let's have a look at the race strategy for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Mediums to hards, cruise to the end, one stop. No one's on any different strategy at all. So with their half a brain cell's worth of knowledge, they've decided, you know what, let's copy their homework. That's a great idea. Instead of trying hards to mediums, for instance. However, like I said, it's patch 1.06 or 7 I did this on, so I'm not entirely confident. Especially because the AI's upgrades in my team, apparently they did like 2 for every one the player did. Which means Oscar in himself apparently has a car that is ergonomically much, much faster than mine.
So why did he qualify P20 then, the stupid nonce?
Here we are then, lining up on P12 on the grid, because you would have seen Esteban Ocon had a penalty, a grid penalty for this race, which is great news for us. Can we get it right on the marks? Oh, yes, we do. 0.2 meters. I'm not doing my throat any favours this race, am I? But anyway, sat on the grid, waiting for the rest of the cars to line up. Big Azerbaijan sign in the front, in case you couldn't tell and thought we were in Afghanistan. 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Normally we get great starts. This time, though, it's not the case. Vettel has got the jump on us briefly, but we're going to dive down the inside of him, keep the position. But Ocon has come out of absolutely nowhere from P18 and almost set it up to our position. Nearly 6 positions in the corner. But anyway, down the inside of Schumacher, P11. Let's hope we can try and get points as Alonso gets crossed up with the Red Bull. Vehicle condition, absolutely fine. Don't care, mate. In the slipstream of Alonso, he's getting away. He is getting away, but we don't use our ERS cunningly in order to save some for later on. We go very wide into turn 3, though. Not great news. It's dancing on ice part 74. Through turn 4. Also not superb, but we have the rest of the lap to keep on the back of the Alpine and cause some drama. Through the right-hander, slight knock of the curb there, unsettles the car. but we do keep it pointing in the right direction as we head towards the castle section for the first time this race, cutting that curb nicely as you do, and then at the black marker board, I can speak English, I promise, through the castle section, like threading a needle through a haystack. That's not the right phrase, is it? I can't actually find... While my throat decides to sit in another continent, we are losing time to Alonso on the exit. His traction is superb. That's the main problem I have with the AI here. Oh my god, my throat keeps dying. Stop! Cascading downhill then towards the final straight off the lap. Schumacher is all over the back of us, and he's going to try and go for a move into the left-hander. I think he might have actually tagged us because we got some massive understeer at the end, and he's dropped back a significant margin. Vettel's on the attack now as well, but we head through the chicane, and we will keep P11. But Alonso, because of that senile dive from Schumacher, has now escaped our DRS range already, and it's only lap 1. Sainz leads the Grand Prix. The 2 Ferraris have immediately escaped as the 2 Mercedes keep 3 and 4. They'll be looking to capitalise on some great results. But in our case, onto lap number 2, through turn number 1, Schumacher and Ocon's getting jiggy with Sebastian Vettel behind. That's not very safe in this country, I think. I don't know what the current laws are. With the gaseous remark of "I've done no research" coming up, we've got some great news. Schumacher is 1.8 seconds behind us because him, Ocon and Vettel keep squabbling behind, and that's allowing us to escape into the horizon, off to the hills. There are no hills on this circuit, but I don't care. At least there's some fake foliage to keep us entertained, because this could be a very, very quiet... My apologies for giving you all a deathly cold. I'm going to try and keep it a bit more on the lowdown now. Let's see if we can actually not get too excited and do a crofty as we head into the castle section. The gap is 2.5 seconds. Can we keep that up? There's news in the very ungreat format here. Schumacher has gained half a second on us in a single lap. And this is what I mean about doing this before patch 1.08 came out, unfortunately, because the AI have so much more pace than us every single time. Even our teammate, I think, is keeping up with us currently. It doesn't look like it, but he's in that massive train, and because everyone around us was fighting, we're just in a no man's land at the moment, but they are slowly gaining their way back up to us. So it's really not great news here as we head on to lap number 14 radio.
Schumacher behind you now, and the gap behind us is 1.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. We think they've got one more stop, and the time last lap was a 1:43.2.
Ah, well, it can't be. It can't get worse, can it? It's worse. It's so much worse. Schumacher is in DRS range. It took him 4 laps to claw his way back. In fact, not even 4 laps, more like 3 laps to get onto the back of us. We have lost Alonso completely in this race. 3.7 seconds is the gap to him, and the gap between us and Mick Schumacher is rapidly closing despite our low downforce setup. In Grand Prix mode, I was all over the AI. I tell you, I was pulling away from them, and this was back when patch 1.06 and 7 were out. But in my team, at least, Schumacher is shaping up to go round the outside of us, but we defend that maneuver straight away. And we do deter him from trying to take the position, which is great news for us. However, he's still all over the back of us like a rabid Rottweiler. I think I've used that metaphor before, but that doesn't matter because we've got more important things to attend to. Because Schumacher with the DRS once again to the outside of turn number 3, braking late. We're so close to banging wheels, but we do manage to keep P11 with a massive opposite lock slop over there. We do manage to keep the car pointing in the right direction, and we do keep P11, but this is frightful news for us now. On to the end of lap 6 then, and I bet you all know what's happening next. Like an LSD-infused Labrador, Schumacher has sniffed our back end for long enough, and is now going to capitalise on our vulnerability, and he takes P11, and there is nothing we can do. He's defending fresh air into turn 1 though, and he brakes at the apex, and we've hit the back of Schumacher, and we could have got front wing damage. Ocon going for a move down the inside as we jump forward in time. What the bloody hell is going on? But we do manage to keep P12. So we couldn't capitalise on our position. Now Vettel's attacking him. That's interesting news. On to the end of lap number 7. Vettel is ahead of him, and we are out of his DRS. But worse news, we are not in Schumacher's DRS, and he's taken a massive stride ahead of us. Haas have proved to be stomping us, but Ocon and Vettel fighting behind, losing some time. 3 tenths or 4 tenths just in that one corner, which means we can scamper away that little bit more, like a supreme Shih Tzu. And now, down the main straight we go on that, well, in the main straight, it's the second straight, but now onto the main straight we go. Ocon's in DRS. Ocon's in DRS. Ocon is in DRS. There's a yellow flag. George Russell is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. No way. Mercedes thought they'd got away with engine problems, but that's another engine failure or engine component related failure for a Mercedes car. Another one in this season, an alarming statistic, but in more alarming news, Ocon is lapping up our slipstream. We really are using all the dog metaphors today, and onto this straight, our traction is absolutely horrendous. No matter what I did differential-wise, ERS-wise, all the drivings-wise, the AI had absolute control over us at all times, but we do maintain P12, 11, what? And there goes Esteban Ocon. Fan-bloody-tastic. I really want to die this race. Hello there, my love. Just going to tap your tushy slightly, because why did you forget what an accelerator pedal was, you stupid white flag waving man? Anyway, down the hill we go. He's actually put the white flag down, and he's stamped on the accelerator pedal now, because he's out of our DRS. We can't get anything off of him. Schumacher's already pulled 3.5 seconds on us. We've had so much trouble with the tyres, and now our misery is going to be compounded because Vettel is in our DRS. We've been wiping dog poo all over the gawping faces of Aston Martin, and now they have the cheek to try and overtake us already. I don't even know what kind of a fall from grace we've had. Vettel lapping up the slipstream, we defend, he hits us! Vettel hits us. I think we defended slightly too harshly, though, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I won't give that the benefit of the doubt, though. What a nice move round the outside that was. Slightly defend to the inside, go to the middle of the track to deter Vettel from making a move, and he doesn't make that move. We do keep P12 now, and it is definitely P12 because Russell has gifted us a free position in effect. Checking where our teammate is, he's in that train. He's not far away from us at all. As you can see, Vettel to the inside, but he can't do it. He cannot do it, and he shot himself in the foot there because he's lost a second just by compromising his line, trying to overtake us. So on to the end of the lap here. I was actually doing a little check here of how the AI's ERS was looking. As you can see, I was checking top speeds as well as Ferrari's pitting there. There's Gasly in last place on the medium tyres, on a new set of mediums. Not that far away. There's Lance Stroll. It's so bad! Back to our race, though. We're coming into the pit lane. Vettel was in our DRS once again, so it didn't make a difference that he compromised his line, but we show no compromise into the pit lane. That was unbelievable. Magnussen was right behind Vettel as well, by the way, so that's not great news at all. But can we get that optimal turn-in? Oh, yes, we do. Fantastic stuff. Let's check what the boys can do in the pit stop here. 2.5 seconds. Great stop, boys. And now we need to hope we get ahead of our competitors. There's Gasly, but that's fine because he'd already pit and he has to pit again because he got front wing damage at some point early on in the race. So the point is we now have to focus on warming up our rubber, making the most out of it, gently massaging the tyres like some man did. I can't show you that on this platform for obvious reasons. As Magnussen goes for the overtake, I swear we were in the yellow flag zone when he overtook us, but apparently not. Bottas is out of the Grand Prix. So, not a Mercedes power unit, but as soon as we gain that free position, we lose the position, because Magnussen has got us, Vettel has been overcut by us, I'm losing my voice, we can't get Ocon though. But our job now is to try and keep up with Magnussen and make sure we don't get overtaken by an Aston Martin, because that is the biggest form of humiliation. Halfway through lap 14, and Magnussen did overtake us in a yellow flag zone. So I hope he's disqualified and put in prison for the rest of the season. Our job now, though, is to just put some personal best laps in and hopefully not get done in this race. On to lap number 15, 16, oh, there's Sebastian Vettel. But we won't let that deter us from putting up a good fight. Round the outside of turn number 1, regaining the traction, but for some reason he gets nitrous on the exit, so we let him compromise his line, and we're going to go for the switchback, and my goodness me, have you ever seen a more satisfying switchback than that? You probably have, to be honest, but it's allowed Albon to try and get the jump on Vettel as well, so they're going to fight into turn number 3, and we're going to have the chance to escaparoo. It's evident we didn't escaparoo, so that's not great news, but we've gone wider than my nan into turn number 1. Big mistake from us. Albon's going to try and get the move done, but we have just held back, got DRS. We should... Oh. Yes, we kept ahead of Albon. Shut up. The critics were on my back before this race, questioning my racecraft after the Monaco Grand Prix, where you can't overtake or do anything of particular overtaking for that matter, and I did the most overtaking that whole race, so I'd love to know what they were smoking. But in better news, Albon scraped the wall at turn 3.
Albon behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 1.6 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 6 laps old. The car behind has minor front wing damage. The last lap time was a 1:43.9.
That does make me laugh. That was a genuine laugh, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. Through turn number 1, Tsunoda and Albon are fighting. Fantastic stuff. Look at that. 3 attempts lost. And that's all the time Albon gained in a single straight. That just proves to you how stupid and broken the AI are. Code stinkers, do your job. I can't be too harsh, though. That was patch 1.06 or 1.07. I can't remember which one I did this on. And now the AI are slightly less broken. There is still work that needs to be done, though. Through turn 3. That is as close as you can get. We were a hair's breadth away from looking like a fool by clipping the wall. But luckily, we have made sure that's not the case. We have meticulously planned this race to ruin Albon's race. And so that makes him ruin I can't speak English. But the point is, we're making sure he ruins other people's races with a damaged front wing. Him and Tsunoda have fought so much. The gap is now 3.3 seconds. And Stroll's now trying to chip away at the Williams. Oh my god, it's all happening today. Stroll being higher than P20? That's mainstream news in Canada. On to lap number 21. Look at our ERS. We were on 17% when the lap started. I want you to look at Tsunoda's number there. And I think it's something like 32 or 42%. I can't tell. I used no ERS at all on this lap other than that level of ERS there. I have a low downforce setup. I don't think the AI are running as low downforce as me. We crossed the line. It's 27%. And give or take the 3% I used, that's about 30%. So we gained that much. But Tsunoda, who has been using ERS and driving meticulously and as quickly as possible, has got 50%. You must be joking. So as a result of that, and because I'm fighting with broken AI ERS consumption due to their upgrades, he's now in our DRS range on lap number 25. And we have 2 laps to try and defend from the annihilating AlphaTauri driver. He probably will annihilate us, honestly, because this is ridiculous. I've long theorized that the AI has more efficient ERS deployment and gains more ERS under braking, no matter what you do. And I'm looking to be proven correct here on the streets of Azerbaijan. So, now comes the defensive masterclass here. As we skip on forwards onto the end of lap number 25, we have driven out of our bloody skin, and we've pulled a second out to Tsunoda. He is not in our DRS anymore, and that lets us be the big fish. We are not small fry. We head on to the last lap of the Azerbaijan. Onto the last lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix then, and there is high octane fueled rage before the excitement of the last lap, because while I was recording the end part of this video, Sony decided to rewrite earlier files, which meant my audio didn't match up. So f*** you, Sony! It's not like I've had strepsils for the past 75 fortnights. Anyway, Charles Leclerc wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sainz did get the fastest lap, though, so it's maybe not as plain sailing as he would have thought it was. But Leclerc does manage to regain his momentum in the championship, showing that imperious form he's been in at the beginning of this season. But onto our race. Bad news, ladies and gentlemen. Tsunoda is well within DRS and is well within ready to have a scrap on our rear end towards the end of the lap as we come on through the left-hander onto the final straight of the race. Our traction's been awful, and it was no different there. We had to hold back, and through the chicane we go. Tsunoda is going to be closer than ever. Left, and then right, as close to the wall as I dare to maximise the speed. 3 tenths behind. Oh my god, we are actually so screwed. We're going to have to play quite dirty here, potentially, in order to keep our position. We didn't squeeze him too much, but he hits us, and it's going to be so close to the line. Alongside he goes, but it's not enough. We keep P12 in this race. Oh my goodness me.
You can see that red suit, familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
I don't even have a joke to make here, because in this My Team Omniverse, it is Ferrari that are dominating. Unlike real life, it is Charles Leclerc who will take the win. It's a Ferrari 1-2 here in the country of Azerbaijan. I was going to say principality, but that's wrong. Verstappen does get third, though, so he does keep his championship hopes very much alive. The champagne sprays out, just like Wheel Evian's Friday night, or it's what he wishes it was anyway. But it's a great day for Ferrari. It's also a great day, all things considered, for us. Because all things considered, P12 is the absolute best we could have hoped.
I've been pretty nice to you this season. I think I've defended you very well, all things considered. But when you drive around like a disabled whale, I'm running at the end of my patience. Sort your life out.
But we are the optimism overlords, so let's ignore the negative. Like I was saying, P12, absolute best we could have hoped for. Easily. We were 14 seconds behind Magnussen at the end. We were nowhere near their pace. And besides that, I can't believe I'm saying this, because we've been genuinely very good this season, but we were the second slowest car that race. We were slower than Nicholas Latifi. A toddler can learn its first word
quicker than Nicholas Latifi can drive a Formula 1 car. What? I actually hate my life.
Let's not forget it was an earlier patch as well, so the AI's upgrades were... I mean, there's no other word for it. I'll take that. I will absolutely take that any day of the week. And you know what? When we go to Canada and the new patch is in place, we are going to be rapid. I don't care what anyone says. I'm so looking forward to that weekend and reclaiming the crown as the king of the midfield. And there's more good news to follow up with that.
Everyone say goodbye to Lego Head.
Because he's washed! Demolished! Smashed! I won! Shut up! With that clown out of the way, we are up to level 8 in driver acclaim, so more driver perks, very nice. And, also good news, another level up in team acclaim. So it's not all bad news at all, and we can take this forward, hopefully, into the next race at the Canadian Grand Prix. The new patch means we should be back right on the AI's level. So stay tuned for that one, because believe me, you won't want to miss it. Until we circumnavigate the globe to that racetrack, thank you very much for watching part 8 of the My Team journey. This is the furthest we've ever gone on an F1 My Team series on this channel. Long may it continue. Please like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed and want to see more F1 22 My Team. There's still quite a significant portion of you that haven't subscribed. And if I find you, believe me, I will shotten. Smack that bell nice and hard.
Just how I like it.
My Team playlist is in the top right once again. If you haven't checked out any of the previous episodes, please do go and check them out. And also, if you have already checked them out, just tell everybody else about it. Tell your best friend, tell your family, tell your pets, tell your grandma. Your grandma might even like this series. Who knows? But, once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.